Welcome to the off ramp, everybody. I am your host, Thomas Jason Anderson. Good afternoon, guys. It's Thursday. We're getting close to the weekend, man. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the world, and I promised that I would do a live on the NATO situation that I've been looking at, and I think everyone should be looking at, and also going to talk about the extradition situation in Guyana because that's a total clown show, and it's understandable for some things not to go smoothly, but what's happening in the extradition process with the Mohammeds, it's just if you so everyone knows I'm writing a book on Guyana, and these chapters are difficult to write because they're reading like it's not real. It's reading as if Guyana is not a real place. And so that's a little disturbing when you're putting together something and you're going back over and you're reading it and you're saying, "Well, wait a minute. Like this no one's going to believe this. It doesn't even seem real." And that's where we are with the extradition process with the Mohammeds. And so let me start off with NATO first, guys. And why I'm saying and why I've been saying that, the United States may leave NATO, okay? And it's not because of what everyone keeps saying. It's not because of the Trump rhetoric. It's not because, people hate each other and there's fighting and all this and that. It's that the world has changed a lot. And NATO has been really good and it is really good now, but it's a it's a coalition. It's a treated coalition that right now is being spread very, very thin to the point where it's getting hard for some of the EU nations within the NATO charter to adhere or uphold their end of the deal. Like they're not, you can kind of tell. You look at how the Europeans are reacting, okay? Like they're not happy with this NATO deal at all, especially with the United States and how we are behaving within it. A lot of them want out, is just the truth. Okay. A lot of them want to cut a deal with Putin and the Russians and call it a day. They're done. Okay. And with what's happening in the Middle East and the request from the Trump administration for these EU nations to start helping out with the security situation in the Middle East, it was like that's the camel that's the straw that broke the camel's back, right? And so I think the EU nations are trying to find a way to get out of this thing with the United States, and I think this uh, conflict with Iran might be the perfect excuse. So we already know that Trump wants out of NATO. He doesn't feel like the EU nations are upholding their end of it. And I think about the other members, the Asian members of NATO, and I don't know if they also I know they want to deal with the United States, but I don't know if they want to be, nailed down to having to defend Turkey when Turkey's trying to mess with Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some conflicts going on within NATO. And I just don't know if I'm looking at it now and I'm saying, yeah, it's beneficial, but there are so many bad things about it now for all of the members within it that NATO might be the sacrifice for world peace, is what I'm saying. Okay. So this isn't about Trump. It's not about Putin. It's not about the EU nations. It's not about the Asian. It's not about any one specific entity within this coalition, within this treated, chartered coalition. It's not any one member. It's that all of them now, all of the members of NATO are finding it hard to maintain what they want to do nationally, while at the same time adhere to their obligations within NATO. It's become almost impossible for some of these parties to pull it off, basically. And so that's why I keep saying, I think the United States may be leaving NATO. And I think maybe the deal would be NATO sacrifice to bring peace. And maybe in that deal, the United States gets Greenland. I'm just saying, right? And that's what it seems like is shaping up right now. So it's either that or it's like World War III, or like Alex Jones like to say, World War IV. I don't know. So I think that's where we're at on that. And so I'm thinking more and more people want peace. And so I think NATO may be on the chopping block. It won't be an immediate thing. There'd be some type of peace treaty. There'd be some type of peace agreement with Ukraine. And within it, NATO will probably be over a generation or two pared back or positioned in a way where it doesn't even make sense for it to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it may not be totally blown up, but it may be positioned within a peace deal with Russia so that it's just ineffectual, right? So maybe it just becomes a thing of the past, maybe. If they're smart and they're good, that's what they'll be able to pull off. Let's put it that way. Okay, so now on to Guyana and the Muhammad situation. Good morning, everyone that's on right now. Thanks for everyone who's been supporting. I really appreciate it. Um, all of the likes and the shares, the comments, it means a lot. Because I'm starting off from scratch. I'm not doing this by buying followers. I haven't hired a firm to, make everything so fancy and try to, create bot traffic and stuff. So this is everything you guys are seeing. It's 100% organic. I don't even pay for Facebook ads or stuff like that to promote the site. So um, all of your all of your interaction, all of your support is really appreciated because trust me when I tell you, it's not easy doing it when you're not buying followers and you're not, especially when you're starting off from scratch. And on top of that, I'm not doing content that's like flame throwing or controversial. I'm purposely staying away from that. So for those of you who are supporting, I really appreciate it. And it says a lot about you too, because I've noticed many people, the same people coming through, and you guys know, like I know, that running around throwing bombs, that might be entertaining, but sometimes you need to get on the off ramp and have a better view of things and be in a more stable and just knowledgeable position for dealing with some of the crazy stuff we're seeing around us. And one of the crazy things now is in Guyana with the Mohammed. So for people who do not know the situation, there's a situation in Guyana now where the opposition leader, and Guyana has a government where it's a two-party system. It's a winner take all. The party who is in control of the country controls everything, but they do have an opposition. And the opposition is official and everything, but they don't really have much power. But with that said, the opposition leader is a man named Azruddin Mohammed, and he is currently under OFAC sanctions through the Magnitsky Act and also under an indictment from a grand jury in the Southern District of Florida federal court. And so the United States sent an extradition request to Guyana to ask the Guyanese government to send the Mohammeds to Miami to face charges, to face a grand jury charges. And that has been now caught up in the courts in Guyana. In the meantime, other people have been facing extradition and they've gone right through. And so now it's like every single day there's a hearing on this. There's some type of weird thing going on. There's people getting audio recordings of the hearings, which is totally illegal in Guyana. There's people pulling off stunts. There's people out here claiming that the judge is paid off by the Mohammeds. The Mohammeds are running around claiming that they're winning something, but it's like, what are you really winning? It's just a total clown show, right? And we just had a PPP member come out and say, "Oh, this could take months more, months and months and months," right? And so I've sat back and I've watched this and I've watched this, and everyone knows that I'm not against the Mohammeds. I'm not for the Mohammeds. I'm just calling it like I see it from my perspective, and I'm just trying to offer a perspective of someone on the outside who doesn't really have a side. But I've been covering politics in Guyana now and corruption in Guyana now going back to 2009. And I've been doing the same thing in the United States through the media, through my profession. So I mean, I have a pretty good view on it. And just looking at what's happening now with all the stuff I've gathered, with everything I've written on this, everything I'm putting together, um, I've been I've been debating whether I should even say this because it could be a problem for some people, but I just felt like it needs the truth needs to be told. So the way that the PPP operate, and I've seen how they've operated now for a long time, um, they like to not just when they have to deliver justice to somebody, they also like to make an example of the person, and they get very cruel, right? And what I'm seeing with how the Mohammeds are being treated, it's cruelty now. It's just cruelty. And I the more I look at it, the more I say, well, and that cruelty, there's a purpose behind it, right? And I'll tell you it's not just to send a message, right? It's also this that the Mohammeds were members of the PPP for a long time. And the Mohammeds know how the PPP operate. And the Mohammeds know in the United States, we call it, they know where the bodies are buried. Okay. And especially when it comes to the 2020 election, the Mohammeds know a lot. And so there's always been a big worry within the PPP because I've spoken to some of them and I've spoken to others throughout the country. There's always been a big worry that the Mohammeds, if they become extradited to the United States, that they try to cut a deal. And in cutting a deal, they expose what happened in the 2020 election. They expose other things about the PPP. And so when you look at these extradition proceedings, first of all, you have to understand, even though the Guyana is a two-party system, the PPP are essentially a dictatorship at this point. Whatever is happening in Guyana, it's under their control 100%. That's just the truth. So everything that's happening in this court case with the magistrate, Judy Latchman, it's under the PPP's control. It is. And the reason why they're turning this into a clown show, I believe, is because they're trying to keep the pressure on the Mohammeds to force mistakes out of them. And through these mistakes, they can discredit them. And with enough discrediting, if the Mohammeds try to cut a deal, they may not be able to cut a deal because maybe nobody will believe them. Maybe if they can make Azraddin Mohammed go crazy and have a mental episode, no one will believe what he has to say. And so the cruelty I'm seeing placed on the Mohammeds, see, I'm not saying the Mohammeds are innocent, okay? Well, I know that they're facing charges, but there's a system and a process for that. What they're dealing with now is cruel, it's inhumane. It goes beyond what a government should be doing. I don't care how bad they think the guy is. The PPP have gone beyond the point now. They've pushed it too far. And I feel like the reason why they've pushed it too far is because they really are scared of what the Mohammeds may have to say. They really are worried that the Mohammeds may have a lot to say to the U.S. authorities about what's happening in Guyana. So that's why there's this clown show. That's why there's so much pressure. They're trying to break that man, and they want him to have some kind of episode, something, so that he can no longer be a credible voice, so that whatever he has to say, no one will listen. So with that said, like I said, I've never supported the Mohammeds. I've never been against them either, but I am praying for them because even though they're facing charges and even though many of their supporters may not like me, they still deserve to be prayed for. And I hope that the PPP can somehow find it in themselves to end this freak clown show and get on with business and stop with the games. So that's all I really had to say, guys. And I hope these guys can listen to that. And I hope people do pray for the Mohammeds. With that said, guys, have a great day. Thanks for all the support.
Now I'ma put it down like that. I'm leaving, I ain't coming back. You don't like the way I act anyway. You really don't have to react. Don't try to change my mind, in fact. Honey, I've already packed all my stuff. We're no longer kids, let's move on. And you are not my kid, so I'm done. Please don't make me pull my gun. Sorry boy, I can't be the one. You know it, yeah, nothing lasts forever. You know that a change will make it better. You know that nothing lasts forever. You know that, yeah, a change will make it better. There's no one to blame, you see. Maybe we're not meant to be. There are plenty more fish in the sea anyway. Every day's a different thing, so I'm not into wedding rings. It ain't personal, it's the way I think. Yeah. You know it, nothing lasts forever. And you know change will make it better. You know it, yeah, and nothing lasts forever. You